Listen while I play my green tambourine. Yeah, that was a little bit of Green Tambourine by the Lemon Pipers. I was just reading about the creation of that song. Apparently it was inspired by a busker that the songwriters saw. Oh, there's Ziggy peeing in the background. Yes, you got to see it. It's kind of hard to see, so I hope you'll spot it. All right. So today I thought I would do a video about one of the most difficult things to understand in all of Dogen's style of Buddhism, which is that there is no delusion and there is no enlightenment. One of the main places you will come across this, one of the first places that most people come across it, is in one of Dogen's most famous pieces, which is called Genjo Koan, which my teacher translated as the realized universe. And here is the line. This comes in the second paragraph. Driving ourselves to practice and experience the myriad dharmas is delusion. When the myriad dharmas actively practice and experience ourselves, that is the state of realization. Those who greatly realize delusion are Buddhas. That's the line I wanted you to hear. Those who are greatly deluded about realization are ordinary people. That's one of the good lines about that, and I picked out a few others which I thought I would read to you before I actually comment on them. This is from Hokke Ten Hokke, which is, I think I called it Twirly Flowers in either, was it Don't Be a Jerk, or was it Came from Beyond Zen, one of those. It's the flower of Dharma turns the flower of Dharma. It's his essay about the Lotus Sutra. And his the line I like about this delusion and realization thing, sorry about the airplane, goes like this. The mind being deluded is just the flower of Dharma turning. Therefore, when the mind is in delusion, we are being turned by the flower of Dharma. This means that even mental delusion is in myriad phenomenon form as it is. So it is form as it is, and it is still being turned by the flower of Dharma. This next one is not from Shobogenzo, but it appears in a bunch of footnotes that Nishijima Roshi put in Shobogenzo in his translation of Shobogenzo, so he obviously thought it was really important. It goes like this. This is just one of the footnotes. There's, I must have found like 5 almost identical footnotes like this. Master Yoka Genraku's poems, or Genkaku's poem, Shodoka. Shodoka means the Song of Awakening, by the way. Begins with the words, gentlemen. It's probably a non-gendered term. He tended to use gendered terms in Nishijima Roshi did in his translation. It's probably something like good people. Do you not see? A person beyond study and without intention, who is at ease in the truth, does not try to get rid of delusion and does not want to get reality. Here's one from an essay called Sesshin Sessho, which I've forgotten what that means in English. Maybe I'll look it up and put it on the screen. Instead of putting it on the screen, I'm going to say it in the editing. It means expounding the mind and expounding the nature. It goes like this. We should not learn that experiencing the state, which is kind of the moment of enlightenment, it's kind of one of those phrases that describes that, or that refers to that idea. We should not learn that experiencing the state describes only a deluded person's first realization of the great state of realization. People in the state of delusion realize the great realization. People in the state of realization realize the great realization. People who are beyond realization realize the great realization. People who are beyond delusion realize the great realization. And people who are experiencing the state experience the state. Oh boy, that's a nice one. And finally, here's one from one of my favorite pieces. This is from Buddhas Alone Together with Buddhas, which I believe I did a whole podcast, an audio podcast about, and I've probably done videos about it too. Buddhas Alone Together with Buddhas, Uibutsu Yobutsu. Delusion, remember, is something that does not exist. Realization, remember, is something that does not exist. And there's a lot of lines like that. But one of my favorite lines I couldn't find. The way, by the way, if you want to know the secrets of the trade, the way I often find quotes in Dogen that I can sort of vaguely remember but can't remember exactly is I have them all as I have the whole Shobogenzo in Nishijima Roshi's translation as a PDF. And I use the PDF search feature. You just put in a word and you search the word. But if I don't, if I'm remembering the quote wrongly, which usually I am, I can't remember exactly what word I'm looking for. So I couldn't find my favorite one, but it says something like, even our doubts and even our confusion is part of the state of great realization. Something like that. He says something like that. I promise you, you'll find it if you figure out the right words to look for. So this is an important point. Somebody recently sent me a video by Ken Wilber, who I'm not a huge fan of Ken Wilber. Ken Wilber is one of these spiritual celebrity types. I don't know what makes people want to become spiritual celebrities. Spiritual celebrities are just like any other celebrities. I've said this before. There's like A-listers, B-listers, C-listers, maybe D-listers. As far as spiritual celebrity goes, I think I'm like a C or a C-minus lister, maybe a D-lister. Like movie stars. My wife's been watching all this stuff about Blake Lively, and maybe some of you have watched this. She was in a movie called It Ends With Us, and there's this big controversy around it. But what seems to be happening, at least in my assessment, is Blake Lively thought that she was an A-list celebrity, but it turns out she's more like a B- or C-list celebrity, and she couldn't boss people around like she thought she would be able to. But don't argue with me about Blake Lively. I don't have a strong opinion on it. That's just my go-to opinion. But the idea is these kind of different kind of levels of celebrity. There's certain celebrities who can just get away with anything and do whatever they want, and they command great price, and they can get whatever they want. And then there's the lower level people like me, who are on the spiritual celebrity path, who are sort of like known, but nobody really cares, and nobody really gives them any breaks or anything. So that's me. But so Ken Wilber is like I guess he's probably an A-list spiritual celebrity, because everybody loves him and they buy billions of his books, and they spend zillions and zillions of dollars to go see him. But this video that this person sent me was about, all this great effort that you have to put in, and all this stuff that you have to do to realize enlightenment, and all this, this and that you had to do, and blah, blah, blah. And it was making enlightenment, or realization, I think was the word he used, into this goal, into this prize to be won. And I guess Ken Wilber's whole thing is like that he won the prize, and he's going to show you the prize, and he's going to show you how to win the prize. He's going to show you how to pick the magic lottery numbers to win the great prize of enlightenment. But Dogen isn't like that. Dogen doesn't teach like Ken Wilber or like most spiritual celebrities. He says that one of his main basic things, the one thing that really confounds people when they first approach Dogen, confounded me when I first approached Dogen, confounds me still 40 odd years later of working on Dogen Zazen, is the idea that Zazen is enlightenment itself. So Zazen, if you've ever done it, and I hope some of you who watch these videos do Zazen, for most of us, most of the time, and I'm definitely counting myself among us in this sense, it doesn't feel like enlightenment. I did it this morning. I did my Zazen this morning after I got up. I had a bad headache in the night that kept me from sleeping very well, so I kind of slept some extra and slept a little later than I would like to have. So I got up, dragged myself out of bed after finally recovering from this headache, and did my Zazen. And that Zazen did not feel like enlightenment. It did not feel like I was having a great realization or a great revelation of, the life, the universe, and everything, and having this kind of whoa moment or whatever that people want to get out of their meditation experience. It just felt like me sitting there, having finally recovered from this headache, and just trying to kind of get through it. Just get through the minutes that I'd set on my little Zazen timer, and then go on and take Ziggy out to do his business, and then feed him and get on with the rest of my day. Plan out this video and stuff like that. It didn't feel like enlightenment. But Dogen's whole thing is that is enlightenment. That is the enlightened state. The Zazen you do is the enlightened state. And he seems to kind of single out Zazen for preferential consideration as enlightenment. Although I'm sure, I mean, I know this because I've read his entire stuff, that he considers all of life to be enlightenment itself. But Zazen is especially enlightenment because you're sitting in that so-called mountain still state, and you're not doing anything. You're not trying to get anywhere. You're not, what does the quote say, that the one Nishijima Roshi loved so much he kept putting in as footnotes? A person beyond study and without intention who is at ease in the truth does not try to get rid of delusion and does not want to get reality. So you're not trying to get anything. You're not trying to make this moment be anything other than what it is. You're sitting in the moment as it is, and that is what he says is a great example of the enlightened state, whether it feels like enlightenment or not. So there's no delusion to be gotten rid of. There's no you're not wrong about everything, although you are wrong about everything. You understand eventually that all of your thoughts are misgiven, as Led Zeppelin taught us. I'm going to go see that Led Zeppelin, the new Led Zeppelin movie one of these days. My car's broken, so I'm not going to be able to see it till I get the car fixed. But anyway, you go beyond that. Sorry, where was I? I got distracted thinking about the car. You see that the realization that you sought is not somewhere else. This is the realization you were seeking all along. That's the great thing. But I think the effort is to stop misconstruing it. I think the effort isn't really an effort to get from here to there, but just to stop misconstruing it, to stop making a mistake about it. So when we say that this moment is itself realization, is itself enlightenment, it's not that, all your dumb ideas about, oh my God, the state of the world and my toes hurt and blah blah, whatever thing you're fretting about and arguing about. It's not that is right. It's not that everything is like that. That's one of the ways I misunderstood it when I first started hearing it. That I took it as a sort of depressing thing to think about. Like, oh my God, this is enlightenment. Ugh, I hate this. It's not that. It's seeing that this is reality itself. There's not some reality out there over in the Andromeda galaxy or something. Sometimes I stand out here looking at the stars, and I've been trying to find Betelgeuse. Betelgeuse. I just saw that movie. Anyway, I'm trying to see it because it's supposed to explode one of these days, and I think I figured out which one it is. But anyway, it's not that enlightenment is out there beyond Betelgeuse. It's that this is the enlightened state. This is what you're looking for. You've just got all these thoughts and things and ideas and constructions and mental chatter in the way of seeing it as it really is. So there is some kind of effort. This is the great sort of contradiction that Dogen always faces us with. It takes, you don't need any effort, but you need a great effort to be beyond effort. It's kind of a weird thing to make the effort to go beyond effort. But if you try it, you'll see that isn't just a nonsense statement. That is something that one can do. All right, there you go. I got to go call and find out what's going on with my car, so I'm cutting this short. If you want to donate to me paying for my car repairs, which I have no idea what they're going to cost, you can go to the URL that you're seeing on the screen below, or that you're about to hear me say if you're listening to the audio version, which is hardcorezen.info/donate. That is hardcorezen.info/donate. That's where you'll find my PayPal and Patreon accounts. Those are my main and usually my only ways of making a living, and I appreciate your support, but as always, you don't got to support me if you don't want to support me. All right, we will see you next time. Have a good time all the time. Bye. Oh, look. See, I don't even have to do a Ziggy cameo. He's right there. Let's see. Usually I do a special Ziggy cameo. Ziggy, look at the folks. There's your cameo. There he is. Okay. See you later, folks. Bye.